Good morning and welcome to Norcal APEX Accelerator's webinar, Doing Business with California High-Speed Rail Authority. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the Program Coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator. And today I'm joined by a fantastic guest speaker, Damon Dorn, and he is the Small Business Outreach Coordinator for California High-Speed Rail Authority. And while he will be presenting the bulk of today's webinar, before I pass it over to him, I do want to let you know a little bit about the APEX Accelerator program and how we can help you with government contracting. So the APEX Accelerator program is a federally mandated nationwide network of centers just like Norcal APEX that are developed to help you with government contracting. Through education, training, and counseling, we're able to offer this government contracting assistance to you at absolutely no cost. And because we are a nationwide network, even if you are over in New York or perhaps Texas, or even all the way up in Alaska or down in Hawaii, there is absolutely an APEX Accelerator near you who can give you this assistance at absolutely no cost. But what kind of assistance am I talking about? Well, for Norcal APEX Accelerator, we're able to offer our government contracting assistance to the 15 northern coastal counties of California that you see on your screen. And we offer that assistance through three main pillars. First, our one-on-one counseling, where once you are signed up with us as a client, you'll be able to meet with a procurement specialist who has years of experience in government contracting, and they'll be able to sit down with you one-on-one over Zoom or possibly in person if you're in Humboldt County. And they'll be able to go through all of the hiccups and hurdles and challenges you may experience with government contracting, whether that's a tricky SAM registration or SAM renewal, or maybe you need help getting registered in Cal eProcure or finding solicitations that you can bid on. That's where one-on-one counseling really shines, is it helps you specifically with your specific hiccups and hurdles. But another perk of our one-on-one counseling is our custom bid matching program. Now, this is something that we're able to offer to our clients at absolutely no cost. But our program actually allocates funds to pay for this service because it has so much value. And that value comes from the way it's set up. Now, the way you set this up is you meet with your counselor, your one-on-one counselor, and between the two of you, you help figure out what keywords you're really looking for when you're looking for opportunities in government contracting, whether that be industry-specific keywords, or maybe you can only perform services in a certain area or ship to a certain area. Or maybe your product or service is so unique that it itself is a keyword and you're looking to only work with that product. Now, once you build out those keywords, the software is able to take that criteria and it scours both local, state, and federal procurement sites for opportunities that are relevant to you based on those keywords. And the best part, it emails those opportunities directly to you. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of the tediousness out of finding these opportunities by sending them directly to your inbox. Now, those two services are what we can offer to our clients. But what I love is that we offer so much more through our resources and trainings. And you're actually taking advantage of that right now. We put on many trainings, both in person and virtually, throughout the entire year on varying topics from laying out the best foundation you could have to begin government contracting on, to meeting with agency representatives like we're doing here today. And even more complicated topics like mentor-protege programs. We try to vary our topics so that we can offer this assistance to anyone wherever they are in their government contracting journey. And you're able to sign up for these at absolutely no cost, no matter where you are in the country. And we also host a very robust website with a ton of links and resources that you can go and explore on your own time. From certifications to tips and tricks to contracting with specific agencies. Our website is a huge resource, not only for our clients, but for anybody who's looking for government contracting assistance. So if you haven't connected with your APEX Accelerator already, please do. If that's Norcal APEX Accelerator, I look forward to seeing your application. If you're somewhere outside of our service area, please do connect with your local center. It's absolutely no cost assistance, so what do you have to lose? And with that, I'll go ahead and pass it off to Damon for this fantastic presentation.
Thank you, Amanda, and good morning or good afternoon to everyone. Again, like Amanda said, my name is Damon Dorn. I'm the Small Business Outreach Coordinator here for the High Speed Rail program, and I'll be facilitating or going through the presentation today to give you a little bit more information about the High Speed Rail in general and answer any questions you have regarding our program. So let's get started. The California High-Speed Rail Authority is committed to small businesses playing a major role in the high-speed rail project. Next slide. The high-speed rail system will connect mega regions of the state and contribute to economic development and a cleaner environment. When completed, phase 1 of the high-speed rail will run from San Francisco to the Los Angeles basin in under 3 hours at speeds capable of exceeding 200 miles per hour. Eventually, we will extend to both Sacramento and San Diego, totaling 800 miles with up to 24 stations, increasing mobility, improving air quality, and expanding job growth. The high-speed rail project is being built through a series of design-build contracts, also referred to as construction packages. Next slide. I think you jumped one. There we go. So let's begin at our HSR website. This website contains all the information that I will be sharing. Again, a lot of the opportunities that are available you can find on our website. So I'm going to try and point out some of the areas where you can find that information, because again, as a state employee, I know personally it's very easily to get lost on a state website. So I'll be able to point out some of the pages that will be most beneficial to you. Next slide. So previously, the authority had a 30% overall participation goal. However, the authority's board of directors recently approved goal changes for the HSR Small Business Program, and all contracts executed after November 2nd of 2023 will have a new goal structure. Each contract will be expressed separately based on federal and state requirements. And as you see on the slide, I'll explain in detail. Blended state and federal contracts, which means they are both funded federally with federal and state dollars, will have a 10% goal for disadvantaged business enterprise, or DBE. It will have a 3% goal for disabled veteran business enterprises, or DVBE, and also a 25% small business goal using all categories that qualify under the state standard, which include small businesses for public works. And of that 25%, we will also carve out a 3% micro business goal. For contracts that are state funded 100%, there will be a 3% goal for disadvantaged business enterprises, again, DVBE, and a 25% small business goal, again, under the categories that qualify with the state standard. And of that 25%, again, there will be a 3% designation for micro businesses. Lastly, for contracts that are 100% federally funded, there will be a 17% disadvantaged business enterprise goal. Next slide. While the High Speed Rail is not a small business certifying agency, we do recognize the small business certifications from the California Department of General Services and the California Unified Certification Program. The Department of General Services oversees the state certification programs, which include small businesses, micro businesses, small businesses for public works, and for disabled veteran business enterprises. The California Unified Certification Program is responsible for DBE certifications here in the state of California. Next slide. Here we have a short list of the certifying agencies for your convenience. And I do want to remind you that the California Unified Certification Program is actually a group of agencies and departments that maintain the DBE program. So again, although you might be looking or assuming that it's just Caltrans, sometimes people make that assumption. There are actually several agencies that are involved with the CUCP, and all of them are able to certify you. And once certified, your certification will be recognized by all agencies under the DBE program. Next slide. Currently, we have a good number of businesses that are already performing on the project who come from all over the state, as you can see on this map. Here are the small business participation numbers as of January 31st, 2024. The small business program receives the number of certified firms working on the project from our contractor compliance unit, and we update our small business website monthly. This participation map is available through the small business program web pages. Next slide. When you are ready to look for high-speed rail contract opportunities, they can be found on the HSR Opportunities webpage. Next slide. Next, I'd like to highlight the High-Speed Rail Authority's vendor registry known as Connect HSR. This is a free online database that provides businesses with a quick and easy way to get connected to the high-speed rail contracts. Once you register, you will be notified on all contracting opportunities, as well as our networking and, as well as our workshops and networking events related to the HSR project. This is one of the resources our design build partners use when they are seeking subcontractors or consultants to help them meet the small business participation goal. Next slide. And just like all state agencies, the California High-Speed Rail Authority utilizes the DGS Cali Procure website to advertise current contract and procurement opportunities. So again, not only can you find that information on the HSR website regarding contracting and procurement opportunities, you will also be able to find them utilizing Cali Procure. Next slide. Additionally, the authority also issues a quarterly small business newsletter that documents the progress of the program and the contributions of small and diverse businesses in building the nation's first high-speed rail system. It provides information and resources on how to do business with the authority, as well as other featured news, opportunities, and highlights. Our newsletter is shared with over 18,000 businesses and media list subscribers. Again, you can learn more about the businesses working on the high-speed rail program in the latest issue of our small business newsletter. Next slide. Here are our list or a snapshot of the social media platforms utilized by the authority to enhance and broaden communication on the high-speed rail project. The authority regularly publishes highlights from our small business newsletter, our small business outreach events, and also the latest numbers regarding small business participation on the project. Feel free to connect with us using any of the social media platforms you see on the screen. Next slide. So that concludes the overview of the high-speed rail program. If you have any questions regarding our program, please feel free to email us. You can reach us by emailing sbprogram@hsr.ca.gov. This is a group email. Myself and several of my coworkers, we all manage this email box, and we'll be able to provide you with quick and informative answers regarding any information related to the small business program or the high-speed rail in general. Next slide. All right, so that concludes our presentation. Again, I know this was just a brief overview, but I definitely want to leave time for questions. So again, if you have any questions, we can open it up for questions if you like. Amanda, I'll turn it back over to you to facilitate this portion of the presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. And please feel free to enter any and all questions you have in the Q&A. I'll go ahead and ask them for you, and we'll go ahead and get you those answers. And I do see one popping up. Rena Johnson was wondering, what is the definition of a micro business?
So that's a great question. A micro business is a special designation. It's actually a small business and it has all the benefits of a small business. However, it's smaller. It's I don't know the exact number, but there are nuances. If your company is only, I believe, and again, don't quote me, if it's only 25 people, or if you've only made a certain amount of dollars, you get a small business, a micro business designation. However, you are afforded all of the advantages of being a small business. They just identify you as a micro business if you're small, if your business is a lot smaller, if you will. Sorry for the words, a little bit tongue tied, but again, it's a small business. They just designate you as a micro business if you're smaller than what they consider a small business.
Absolutely. And I actually had someone in the audience, Aaron, chimed in and says he thinks you have to make under 16 million per year to be a micro business, correct?
Yes, that is my understanding. Now, this program is managed by the Department of General Services. I would always say contact the agency for any detailed questions, for any information, because they're responsible for maintaining the certifications as well as the program. So again, I would definitely encourage you to reach out directly to the Department of General Services regarding the certifications.
Absolutely. And we are hosting DGS next Thursday for a very informative presentation. So that might be a good one to sign up and maybe get that contact information so you can connect with them.
Absolutely.
And then Rhonda was asking, are there any trades or services that are being particularly sought to fulfill small business goals at this time?
That's a great question. And it's a two-part answer, I guess. So we, the authority, we're overseeing the project. And I can let you know that probably 99, if not 100% actually 100% of the construction is being done by our prime contractors. We've hired several prime contractors. Each of them have active work sites. So our job as a small business program is to connect small businesses to our prime contractors. Again, you can use our email address to reach out to us directly, and we can put you in contact with the prime contractors or consultants, depending on the products or services you offer. And they would be able to share with you what opportunities are available. Again, they're going to differ for each prime contractor. So again, based on the products or the services you provide, we'll be able to put you in contact with one of the prime contractors, if it is on the construction side, who might be able to utilize your services.
Fantastic. And yeah, construction definitely strikes me as the majority of what you're looking for, but could you give us any details of maybe things we may not think that HSR is looking to contract for?
Well, again, some of the things that are related to the construction will depend on where that particular prime contractor is at. We're going to be doing a workshop, just get a quick plug in. We're going to be doing a workshop next month on April 17th with Dragados Flatiron, who is one of our major prime contractors. And I know that they are definitely looking for trucking, concrete, things like that. So those are some opportunities that are available specifically with DFJV, as they're also known. Again, each prime will have its own needs. I don't have that list in front of me, but again, that's one of the resources that we do provide. So once we find out what the services you provide, we definitely try to connect you to the prime contractors who have let us know the type of services or things that they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm?
Well, I'm seeing an empty Q&A. Are there any other questions folks may want to ask? Or are there frequently asked questions that you get, Damon, that we haven't addressed yet?
A lot of times there are. Again, we try to put a lot of our information on our webpage. We do have an FAQ webpage that's available on the HSR website. And a lot of times what we try to explain to people is that, again, because we are unique in regards to other state agents, simply because 99% of our efforts are in the construction of the high-speed rail project. So the procurement side of it, it's not going to be as heavy as it would be with departments like Caltrans or DGS. Again, a lot of our administrative activities are actually being done by prime consultants. So again, while we contract with both prime consultants as well as contractors, we definitely require them to meet the same small business goals that we as a state agency are required to meet. So our goal here in the small business program is to make that connection and get you in touch with the prime contractors or consultants that might be able to utilize your services.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Eleanor was wondering if there are any anticipated like new contracts that a prime could apply for that are coming up, or if you have all of the primes situated and settled for this project.
Absolutely, there's always going to be opportunities. We are currently advertising several contracts on our website. Again, we put that information. We're not able to discuss, I'm not at liberty to discuss contracts that have not yet been advertised, but the opportunities that are available, we just did a brief, a short presentation last week regarding a new contract that will be advertised. So again, opportunities are definitely available. There will be more opportunities opening up over the next 12 to 18 months. Again, I encourage everyone to visit our website. Most definitely register with Connect HSR. That's probably one of the best tools you can utilize, whether you're a prime contractor, a prime consultant, or a sub. Again, registering with Connect HSR, every time a new contract is about to be advertised, you'll catch an email about it. Every time there's a workshop or a pre-bid, if you will, you'll catch an email. So again, it's about staying in the loop and being able to get this information in a timely fashion. So using Connect HSR is probably the best tool that I could recommend, whether you're a sub or a prime.
Fantastic. And Eleanor did clarify, thank you so much. I reworded the question a little bit weird, but what she was asking is, does California HSR contract directly with small businesses? Or is it's sounding like it may be completely through the primes for small businesses?
That's usually the case, and it's just like most state agencies. Again, using Caltrans as an example too, more times than not, your contract will not be as a sub. Let me clarify that. As a sub, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, your contract will be with a prime contractor. It won't be directly with the agency. Any contract that is available through the high-speed rail, again, will be advertised on our website. However, because we do require our primes to meet those small business goals that we are required to meet, the small business program, our challenge is to make connections between those primes as well as those subs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So definitely not a no, but not exactly likely.
Right.
Fantastic. That's great to clarify. And then Kina was wondering, and I'm not sure if you're super aware of this, and it's maybe better directed towards a prime contractor, but is there prevailing wages on this project?
That's a great question. I know that we follow the state procurement requirements, just like all other state agencies. However, it's on a contract by contract basis. What is required? Again, your prime that you connect with will be required to adhere to all state requirements, just like as if you were working directly with the state agency. But all those details will be in the contract that you have with that particular prime.
Absolutely. And then we did have a question. Aaron was wondering if there's going to be any live Meet the Primes events. Would you like to discuss that? I actually pulled the event calendar link, which I'll drop in chat so everybody can check out the upcoming California HSR events.
Yes, we're definitely trying. I know, and I'm sure everyone realizes COVID threw us all for a loop. And we've become using the technology that we're using today as one of the reasons that, because of COVID, that we're using Zoom now. We do try to use Zoom more often than not because we're able to reach a larger audience. However, we have events coming up in the near future that are in person. I know on May 7th, we're having a fast tracking networking event. It's going to be held here, not here, it's going to be held in West Sac at the Department of General Services Ziggurat building. So again, if you're interested in meeting the primes, several of our primes will have a table or an information booth at that event. So again, if you're interested in talking or meeting to our prime contractors directly, that'll be a great event to look forward to. We also host virtual events ourselves, usually on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. Like I mentioned earlier, our next event is going to be on April 17th. And if you're already registered with Connect HSR, you'll be getting that email pretty soon here. And that'll be virtually, but it'll be a great opportunity to learn about opportunities specifically with Dragado's Flatiron, if you will. And later on, we'll be working with some of our prime consultants as well And during those Zoom meetings, they'll be able to provide you with information. But as far as in-person events, again, our next event scheduled is for May 7th. And as the calendar year goes through, we definitely have some bigger events later on in the year. But right now, we only have tentative dates.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And for everybody in the audience, I did drop a link to that April 17th event, because that sounds like that's going to be an awesome one to attend, especially if you're looking to get involved in this project.
Yes.
Fantastic. And then we have another question from Eleanor. She's curious about California HSR's accounting requirements for small businesses. Does Cal HSR accept Caltrans safe harbor indirect cost rates for determining billing rates?
That's a very good question. It's not the first time I've had that question. Unfortunately, I'm not a part of the procurement team, so I wouldn't be able to give you any detailed answers. What I would recommend is that you send an email to our small business program. We can forward that information on to our procurement staff. They would probably be able to give you a direct answer or a more informative answer than I'd be able to do today. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. It's the classification of expert. And for me,
Absolutely.
expert means more so knowing where to get the information rather than knowing all the information at that one point in time.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We partner with both our procurement staff as well as our prime contractors. Each of our prime contractors does have a small business liaison. So I work with those people directly. And again, a lot of my efforts are to provide information or to share questions that I might receive that I don't have the direct answer to. I'll share those answers directly with our prime contractors and consultants, and then they'll either reach out to you or provide an answer back to me that I could pass back on to the subs.
Perfect.
Mhm.
All right, and so we've cleared out the Q&A yet again. We'll go ahead and give it a minute for any last lingering questions. I'll also take this chance to, again, plug Norcal APEX Accelerator, because we are a free service that you can use to help you with getting connected with California HSR and help becoming a contractor or subcontractor on these projects. That's very much what our one-on-one counseling is for. So if you are looking to really get in on this project, please connect with your local APEX Accelerator, even if that's not us. Because having that one-on-one counseling, that counselor in your corner, even if it's maybe you meet once a month just to go over what's going on and make sure you're on track. Or maybe you need a little bit more help and you meet weekly with your counselor. It's very much up to you and your needs. So definitely get connected. And I'm not seeing any other questions, so we'll go ahead and begin to wrap up this session. Thank you so much for joining us today, Damon. It was a lot of information, a lot of good resources to help everybody get connected, which is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for this opportunity. I definitely enjoy working with the APEX Accelerator groups, and it's a pleasure working with you as well, Amanda. Thank you.
Of course. And before you all head out and have a little bit of the rest of your day to yourself, I do want to make you aware of some of our other upcoming events. As I mentioned, on March 28th, we will be joined by a representative from California DGS, Office of Small Business and DVBE Services, to help you figure out what to do with your certifications once you get certified in their classic event called I'm Certified, Now What? And in addition to that event, we have a fantastic overview of the Department of Defense's Mentor Protege program, which will be next Tuesday on March 26th. And then if you maybe you're very early on in your government procurement journey and you really just need the foundational knowledge, that's where our introductory training, how to do business with the government, really shines and can really help. And you can sign up for that event on April 11th. So with that, I will go ahead and wrap up. Thank you all so much for joining us. And thank you again, Damon, for being here this morning. As you guys exit the webinar, you will be redirected to our feedback survey. And this is something I always love to plug because we really do these events. We put on these events to benefit you and your learning and your education and your government contracting journey. So if we can be doing it better, please do let us know. That's the only way we are going to know. And on the flip side, if you think we're doing a great job, if you think we're getting the right topics that you want and the right presenters, we would love to hear that so that we can continue going down that way. So if you do have a minute, it is very brief, and we really appreciate your responses. They're truly invaluable to developing these webinars. So with that, thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.